What's going on, backyarders? It's really awesome to have you joining me today. Today we're going to do an awesome experiment. You know, a lot of times when I'm cooking, I'm in the backyard, I'm on the grill, these things just come into my head like, maybe we should try this or maybe we should try that. And, sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. But sometimes it's just the small details that really make the biggest difference. And to be honest with you, a lot of times we forget to really talk about the little things. And so recently I've been trying to come up with video concepts for you guys that have to do with the small things, the things that a lot of us take for granted, that, it's just assumed or that we already know. And, a lot of times we don't have those little things perfected. And so today what I want to show you is a detail when it comes to cooking baby back ribs or any type of ribs that makes a big difference. When it comes to ribs, one of the first and most important steps is taking the membrane off, especially if you're dealing with some baby back or some St. Louis style ribs. And, there's all kinds. I know I've seen all kinds of different methods. I've tried all kinds of different methods. You'll hear, well, if you take a knife and stick it between the bone and the meat and, all kinds of methods. But I'm here to tell you, you don't need any special tools. You don't need any paper towels or anything like that. It's so simple and it works. This method I'm going to show you is by far, in my opinion, the most consistent method by a long shot. But today I'm going to show you the method that I've settled on for a while now, for a long while. And it's just my go-to method because it's so easy, it's so simple, and it works every time. Okay, so I have 2 racks of baby backs. This is the way that I do it, and hopefully it's going to work out here for the video. Beautiful baby backs. I like to pull them out of the fridge, pull the membranes off, and season them. I'm going to season these ribs with some Killer Hogs from Malcolm Reed. That stuff's wonderful in pork. But first, let's pull this membrane, and as you can see, the membrane goes over to about here. And you see this where it just kind of goes right there. And you'll find that a lot of times. And the easiest place to get under the membrane would be over here. But the problem is it's going to break as you pull. So the trick to this, most people stick something between the bone and the membrane and kind of pull at it that way. Well, you tear the membrane a lot of times like that. So if you stick the knife between the bones into the meat, you tear the meat all up. The way that I do it, and I just kind of fell upon it in frustration, I found this. Now, if you take your finger, and it usually is better without gloves, and you just kind of pull at it just a little bit. What you can do is get it so that you can work your finger right underneath of it. And keep on until you get to the middle. You see how it's coming? And then it starts to separate a lot easier. Okay. All right. Step 1 is done. I got my finger completely under the membrane. Okay. That's the most important part. And you want to do that in the middle. You don't want to do it down here. You don't want to do it down here because this part is next. I got 2 fingers under here. And I'm just going to kind of lift up and slide my hand to the sides, putting a little pressure down with the other hand. Now, before I pull this all the way off, I'm going to go back and do the same thing to the other side. And now I'll go ahead and put my other hand under the membrane and finish it up. Membrane went over there a little farther than I thought. And there you go. Makes it very simple, guys. Same thing on this other rack. This is a pretty nice looking rack. I'm going to go between the bones. And some membranes come off a lot easier than others. But this is by far the most reliable for me. Now you see, I got a little tear there. That's normal. Just go back under,
nice and gently. No hurry. This is the most important part, is getting under it. Okay. And then once you're under it and all the way through, they just come right off. Just like that. It's something just that simple that, you know, as video creators, instructors, or, you know, just competitions, if you're teaching your son or whatever it is you're doing as far as teaching someone or showing someone how to do ribs, you know, it's just those little small things like that that a lot of times we forget about. This killer hose is going to be amazing. Malcolm makes some great products. Check him out if you haven't already. Look at those beauties. I don't really use any binders on ribs. I just find that you don't need to. If you get, you know, fairly good ribs, they're going to have plenty of moisture to get that rub to stick. Here's the rub we're using, guys. Now it's just time to cook, drink beer, and wait for these ribs to get done. It's going to be a good dinner. We are doing the 3-2-1 method. 3 hours on the smoker, 2 hours wrapped on the smoker, 1 hour resting. However, when you're doing baby backs, sometimes, well, most of the time, you have to kind of rush that along. So it's more of a 3 hours on the smoker, hour and a half wrapped, and half hour to an hour resting.
That's a pretty rib. Oh man. I went with Famous Dave's barbecue sauce. I decided to go wet instead of dry today. And I mean, I think I nailed it on the moisture. That smoke ring is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful smoke ring. Look juicy. Let's see how they taste. That's good. I like that sauce. Nothing like ribs at home. It's about the little things, guys. And with ribs, when you nail the little things down, like getting that membrane off, man. It's the small things, guys, that really add up and make a big difference. If you're still here, well, you're in luck, because those that tune in for the whole video, I'm going to be adding memberships onto Delmarva Backyard. And if you're not sure what memberships are, it's right here on YouTube, and you'll be able to go down, add a membership, and for $5 a month, you're gonna get some exclusive stuff that no one else is gonna get. You're gonna get question and answer videos just for members. So I'm gonna go into the comments of different videos and the question and answer videos I'm gonna create, and I'm going to answer your questions right here on YouTube, but you have to be a member. The other thing members are going to get, written recipes. I'm not going to say everything's going to be a written recipe, but I'm definitely going to start putting some written recipes. Those are the two biggest things that commenters like to talk about and mention, and the suggestions I get. So I'm going to do it. It's a lot of extra work. But, you know, these memberships should help make it worth it. It helps me with my time and the equipment and the food and, you know, everything that's necessary to produce Delmarva Backyard. So I really appreciate your support, and I look forward to working with you guys as members. You guys have an awesome week, and I'll see you on the next video.